So this is Armchair Psychologist Journey to Joy, my first actual episode where I am going to be doing some cooking. I have always really liked cooking, and I'm quite good of a cook. I'm not excellent, but I'm good. And I've got the advantage that I'm actually not very fussy about food. I'm quite happy to eat food that doesn't taste amazing. But I do enjoy good food when somebody else has made it and has put the effort to it. So because I live in London, I live fairly far away from any decent large supermarket. There's only tiny little shops around, which means that if you want to buy anything decent at all, you will have to go to several different shops to find everything that you need. So I basically have not been cooking for a while. I used to cook quite a lot, but then I was made redundant, I lost my job and I moved away from London. And when I came back, I had to stay 7 weeks in various different hostels to be able to save money for the rent deposit. And there were no cooking facilities. So I did no cooking whatsoever for about 7 weeks, 8 weeks. And I kind of lost the taste for it. So now that I found my place to live, and I've been there for nearly a month, I have cooked twice. The food I have made has been not great. So I thought I was gonna put some effort in from now on, mostly because I have been eating the same food at work every day as well, for very similar reasons. Because I haven't cooked, I've got no leftovers, so I will have to get the food from Sainsbury's or some other tiny place nearby, and there's not very much there that I can eat. I'm not vegan, but I prefer to eat plant-based food when I can, so I've been eating the same tinned Mexican bean soup for 2 months. And I haven't eaten other hot food apart from weekends when I travel away to see Peter, my partner. So yeah, I decided that I was gonna cook something exciting, and I did a little shopping trip for various health food shops that were horrendously overpriced. I bought a few bits, so I got different types of noodles. I was looking for buckwheat noodles because they got a lot more fiber than the normal white ones. The first shop where I went to didn't sell them. Well, it did, but it was really expensive, about £4 for a packet. And then I walked back to Hackney, where I live, and I found this Vietnamese supermarket type of thing, and they had buckwheat noodles for £1. So I bought both. I also bought some kelp, which I really, really like. Again, it would have been about £5 for a packet in the shop where I first went. But then in the Vietnamese supermarket, I got the whole packet for 99p again. I also bought some Tempeh, if that's how you say it. Not entirely sure how you pronounce that, but it's sort of soya bean curd type of block thing. And I've never used that before. I have no idea what to do with it. So I chopped it in pieces, and I can't really say I marinated it. I just poured stuff on it. So that was soya sauce and olive oil, and I put a tiny bit of salt in it and some smoked paprika. And then I fried it, that's it. I then boiled the noodles, so I mixed the two different types of noodles. I don't want to throw out the white ones since I've bought them, but I really want to use the buckwheat ones. So I mixed the two type of noodles, and I also boiled the kelp. So kelp is algae, it's a type of seaweed. It's really high in magnesium and iodine and calcium and iron, so it's quite good instead of using supplements if you're in a plant-based diet. And then I added some alfalfa sprouts on top. I was also meant to have some chia pudding, which is really high in fiber, and that was kind of my dessert thing. I was meant to make that with almond milk, but sadly I forgot to buy the milk, so I had to leave that bit, and then I'm going to have that today instead. The whole thing was quite cheap. I think all my ingredients all together cost about, if you leave the dessert out, it cost about £6, and I'm gonna get probably, I would say, at least 5 meals out of it. So it wasn't too bad. And the best thing is that not only did it taste excellent, but it was really quick to make. I think cooking the whole thing took me about 10 minutes, probably less than that. However long it took for the noodles to cook, 5 minutes. So if you do live in London and you've got the similar type of lifestyle as I have at the moment, which is that I go out straight from work to see people or to do things, which means that when I get home, I only have half an hour before I have to go to bed, otherwise I won't get enough sleep before I have to get up for work again. So this kind of convenient, easy, cheap cooking is something that I'm really looking forward to doing again, actually, because now that I know where to go for my ingredients, then it's going to make my life a whole lot easier. And I do enjoy the challenge of cooking. I feel quite impressed that I managed to make something really nice out of an ingredient I have never even tried before. I did smell it, and to be fair, this far, it's the only thing I have ever tried that is not dairy-based that even remotely reminds me of cheese. When I was on a vegan diet, I absolutely missed cheese. That was my downfall. I was vegan for 6 months and then I quit because I met my ex-partner. I had 2 partners, just to explain in case you didn't pick up on that. So I had another partner for 2 years and he would put cheese in everything. So trying to avoid cheese, especially if you love it and it's already a temptation, was incredibly hard. So I just left it. But now I don't really miss it, and I think that if I can find these cheese alternatives that taste remotely like cheese, then I'm really definitely going to give another go at that, and this can be my little project. So when I do find cheap things that are quick to cook, then I will definitely share that with everybody else and you can all have a go. I do recommend that if you've got a chance that you will go through all those little ethnic shops in your area, wherever it is that you live, because the ingredients are really interesting and exciting and new, and they're also likely to be considerably cheaper than they would be elsewhere, and you can get really low cost meals out of that. Living in London is incredibly expensive, and I don't earn huge amounts of money to really justify being here. So if I spend a huge amount on my food, then that's money I can't spend on other things, like going out with friends or going to a cinema every so often or whatever. So I'm trying to sort of stretch my pennies wherever I can, just so that I can maintain the overall quality of my life. And this is going to be part of it. So I hope you're going to give a go for this recipe if you got the opportunity. I do appreciate that if you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you don't have ethnic shops. You might not have even a Tesco supermarket, but give it a go if you can. And yeah, it was a very, very tasty, nutritious meal, and I have leftovers, which means that today at work I don't have to have 3 bean soup again.